Today, I will be using a full team of Pokemon based on characters from Final Fantasy VII. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a Final Fantasy VII team. Now, this team was really fun. It had a lot of really interesting Pokemon. Special thank you to Jordan Steve for coming up with this team idea. I have two interesting battles to showcase, and I hope you enjoy them. Now, I'm leading off here with my Choice Scarf Armarouge here for Barrett. As the Pecharunt goes for the Nasty Plot, I was like, yes, that's perfect. I was able to get the surprise outspeed versus this Pecharunt and get off some big psychic damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't take out the Pecharunt, but, you know, I noticed that their team really struggles versus, like, psychic moves from this team. So I'm going to go for another psychic as Gengar comes in, and they're going to be focused as Gengar. So I was like, okay, this is good. I can get off another psychic as long as I don't get curse bodied. I get curse bodied. Oops. So, all right, damn, that sucks. And I don't want to lock myself into struggle because then the opponent will be able to set up any kind of move versus me. So I'm going to swap in Darkrai here for Sephiroth. Now, in terms of Sephiroth, I really didn't have, like, the best Pokemon to go with for him because there really aren't any, like, one-winged angel kind of Pokemon, and, like, Mega Absol would probably be the best, maybe, but I thought Darkrai was a really good fit. I'm actually running a Swords Dance Darkrai because obviously Sephiroth is known for his, like, swordsmanship, right? So, speaking of swords, I have this Gallade here for Cloud. Now, this is a special Gallade with sharpness. Air Slash boosted by sharpness is actually really strong, and I actually get a flinch on the Annihilate. I was like, oh my gosh. So this is a fully special Gallade with Life Orb. I'm running Psychic on this as well. I get a nasty critical hit versus the Skeleturge, and that ended up being important because I'm actually going to be able to 2-hit KO it with the Psychic. Oh my gosh, this special Gallade. I actually have sharpness boosted Air Slash for the Omni Slash, right? So the Clodsire is going to come in. Like I said, their team was, like, really weak to Psychic, so I was like, okay, that does some great damage. They were, like, physically defensive on Skeleturge and this Pokemon, so I was like, okay, that's really good. I got off some really great chip damage. My Gallade is going to go down to the Poison Jab, but I got rid of, like, I essentially really weakened the two bulky Pokemon on their team, and they really don't have any answers to my Psychic. Except I didn't go for Psychic. I went for Armor Cannon, anticipated that would take it out, but it doesn't KO it. Oh man, I thought that would KO it from this range, but unfortunately, I'm going to be able to eat an Earthquake at -1 defense. I do take it at the very least. I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. I actually misread the calc when I was doing this battle because I accidentally implemented Flash Fire, and I didn't have Flash Fire, so I was like, okay, well, I guess 2 Armor Cannons should be enough to take out the Claude anyway. Thank goodness they didn't recover. So, the Annihilate is going to come back in. I don't really want to be locked into Armor Cannon, so I'm going to swap into Aeris for Lurantis. So, this is a pretty interesting Lurantis set. I'm, like, fully specially defensive. Oh my goodness, I take so much from that Rage Fist just because I previously damaged it. And I'm assuming that this is, like, a fully offensive Annihilate, not like a specially defensive one. So, I'm just going to go for the Petal Blizzard. This is a fully specially defensive Lurantis, and I have Petal Blizzard, Superpower, Defog, and Synthesis on this set. So that was my hazard removal for this team. So I'm going to bring back in my Armarouge. This time, I'm not going to click Armor Cannon. I'm going to click Psychic and take out the Annihilate. So I was like, okay, that's good. That Pokemon was, like, fully offensive. It was going to do some big damage versus my team. Now, they interestingly swap in Pecharunt. I was like, well, okay, I'll just nab my free KO. I already outspent this Pokemon anyway. The crit didn't even matter that turn, so that's Pecharunt down. So it's 4 versus 1 at the moment. The last Pokemon is the Dragonite. Now, this turn I was like, well, they're more than likely going for, like, Terra Normal E-Speed or something, but just in case they set up the Dragon Dance, I do want to break this Pokemon's multi-scale. So I'm just going to go for the Psychic this turn as they do Extreme Speed. So I'm like, okay, well, this is tough because I really don't have, like, the best Pokemon to deal with this thing. So I'm going to swap in my Darkrai here. I'm going to go for the knockoff. I'm running a physical Swords Dance Darkrai, and I have Dark Void on this with Wide Lens, which is going to increase the accuracy of Dark Void by, like, 5. So I actually don't know how much it's increased by, but I thought it was a fitting move. And of course, I have Sword Stance. I have Knockoff and Poison Jab with Terra Poison. So the Dragonite, I actually knock off its Rocky Helmet. So that was nice. So I'm gonna get fainted. But I did break its multi-scale at the very least. So I swapped in my Pyroar here. I was hoping I would take any move, but yeah, I just get Aqua Tail. So now it's suddenly a 1v1. But I have Tifa here now. The best fighting move that I have on this is Reversal. I'm running a really interesting Focus Sash counter Urshifu. I actually didn't even get taken down to my Focus Sash. Urshifu has some surprising defense actually, so this is like a Focus Sash Urshifu. It's crazy, but I end up taking out the Dragonite with the counter. That's the end of that first game. This is actually a really short video compared to everything else I upload, right? So on to the second game. Now it comes Hello, the Glamora. Now I'm gonna go for the Surging Strikes immediately on this. Now I didn't mind the Toxic Spikes because I do have my specially defensive Lurantis, and I do have Heavy Duty Boots and Defog on that, and I really needed the Toxic Spikes to be gone. Otherwise, Toxic Spikes are very annoying to deal with, right? So I'm gonna take out the Glamora, but they do have 2 turns of Toxic Spike set up. No. So it comes to Delphox. The Delphox is interestingly nicknamed. So I'm like, interesting. Okay. So my Darkrai is going to get poisoned as I bring it in. I was wondering what this Delphox was going to go for. They actually go for the Will-O-Wisp. So I was like, oh my gosh. Thank goodness I didn't stay in, right? Because I didn't want my Focus Sash to be broken at that moment because they had a very threatening physical attacker in the back. So I go for Knockoff, and they actually don't have an item. I was like, what? And they actually take my wide lens. So I'm like, oh, it's like no item magician on this. That's really interesting. So unfortunately, my wide lens is gonna get taken away from me, so my Dark Voids may not be able to hit, assuming that they wouldn't hit anyway with my wide lens, right? So I'm gonna go for the knockoff on the incoming Amigos. Now I'm really glad the Amigos came in because this Pokemon is like really, really threatening and really scary versus my team. So I'm gonna go for the Dark Void. Because I don't have my wide lens anymore, I missed my Dark Void. I'm blaming that. So the mouse is gonna go for the low kick. I actually knocked off loaded dice from this Pokemon, so it wasn't wide lens. So I thought, well, this is perfect for me to bring in my Gallade. I'm actually running Vacuum Wave on this as my priority move. So if this Mousehold went for Population Bomb, that would have easily KO'd me. So I anticipated that they would want to stay in and go for that KO, but I'm just going to go for that Vacuum Wave and take out the Mousehold. That's one very, very scary physical Pokemon out of the way. But it comes another very threatening physical Pokemon in Azumarill. Now, I wasn't sure if this was like Choice Banded, if it was like Citrus Berry or Assault Vested. But I'm going to get taken out there by the Play Rough, unfortunately. So I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I got off some Omni Slash chip, right? So this turn I thought, well, I could go for the Petal Blizzard here, but I really want to get off the Defog versus this. I'm not running any attack investment, so Petal Blizzard isn't really going to KO this, especially if it's like max health. So I thought the most important thing for me to do is get rid of the Toxic Spikes now and preserve the Focus Sash on my Urshifu should I need it later on. So I'm going to swap in my Armarouge now. I'm running Terra Grass on this with Energy Ball. Now, this is a Choice Scarf Armarouge. I didn't actually say the set. I'm running Trick, Armor Cannon, Psychic, and Energy Ball. So, going for that Terra Grass boosted Energy Ball. Imagine, oh my gosh, if this Azumarill was Sap Sipper, by the way, holy smokes. But judging by the damage they did versus Lurantis, like, it was definitely huge power. So, I am going to get that KO versus the Azumarill. I was like, okay, that's really good. And in comes the Baxcalibur. So obviously I'm locked in. So I'm gonna bring in my Pyroar here. So I haven't explained this set for Red. I actually am running a fully physical Pyroar with Moxie. I'm not even sure why this Pokemon gets Moxie when it has way lower attack than special attack, but I wanted to run the Moxie set. Now, I have Body Slam on this. I was like, I could get some good chip damage, maybe get a paralysis, and I do paralyze Bombzilla here, and I'm actually gonna get the full para on this. So this set is running a Body Slam, Flare Blitz, Crunch, and Entrainment. So Entrainment is an interesting move. I could give the opponent Moxie. And the reason why I would want to do that in the first place is because just in case any unaware Pokemon swap in, I could give the unaware Pokemon Entrainment. And if I have Moxie Boost, I'll be able to hit them very hard. Because obviously unaware ignores like stat boost and everything. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz on this Baxcalibur. I do give it its Thermal Exchange attack boost, but at the very least, I'm able to get off some really good chip damage versus this Pokemon, and that's really what I was aiming for because it was paralyzed and I wasn't exactly worried about it. So I'm gonna swap in my Armarouge here. Now, this Armarouge was like perfectly set up in this endgame because the Baxcalibur is paralyzed. There's no way it's gonna outspeed me. Ice Shard wasn't gonna take me out either. So there goes the Baxcalibur. The Delphox is on a very low amount of health, which is like good. I was like, okay, I'm easily gonna be able to outspeed this and go for the armor cannon on this Pokemon and take it out. So that's gonna be another KO for this Choice Scarf Armarouge. And the last Pokemon that hasn't been revealed yet is the Meowscarada, and this Choice Scarf Armarouge is actually going to fully outspeed this. Now, whether or not it takes it out is yet to be determined. I was wondering if they had Sucker Punch. Maybe they would, like, go for that while I'm -2 defense. But I'm going to take out the Meowscarada, that endgame Barrett sweep. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this team. I really had fun with this Final Fantasy 7 team. Maybe I could do Final Fantasy 8 next, or 9, or 10, or Infinity. I guess my name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.